The Alpough Show, the human spirit experiment with Het Heru, talking about chakras. The show starts now. And welcome. Welcome to Alpough. Hey, we got here. Isn't it great? You have no idea what happens before a show. But, really glad to be here. Welcome to Alpough Show, the human spirit experiment, where today we're going to have the fabulous, incredible Het Heru giving us wisdom here. Now, before we start the show, I just want to ask you a quick favor. This is very important that you subscribe to my channel. I need subscribers so that I can get in the algorithm, and make sure you press that button there. Okay? Press that button for me so that I can make sure you get every single show that's coming up, and we're going to have so many good really shows. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to slow down, we're going to speed up, and we're going to talk to you a little bit more about what this show is about. And we're going to start off with a kernel. Okay, you know what a kernel is, right? A kernel from a corn. Life is about finding the kernels and putting them together, because it only takes one kernel to make a stalk. Life's about finding those kernels, those gold nuggets, and that's what we're going to be really talking about. But always know that we're giving you the 10 kernels of Sophia's wisdom. Number one is adult of my spirit, an adult of my mind, an adult of my thoughts, an adult of my emotions, an adult of my actions, an adult of my body, an adult of my love, an adult of my surroundings, an adult of my relationships, and the final most important thing is the adult of my decisions. Because it's the decisions that we make in life that determines where we're going. And so I'm glad you're here. If you're not on now, you're on later. It means that you're interested in what we're doing here. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. On today's Alpough Show, we have the great guest Het Heru, who knows all about chakras, yoga, and essential oils. Give her a big hand. Welcome, Het Heru.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I get so much positive feedback from folks, letting me know how much they're enjoying the show and the information and they love you. They just think you have the right and perfect personality for what we're doing, because what we're talking about can be really, really serious. And they love the fact that you lighten it up somewhat, and allowing it to be received better in that way. And I like that too.
Well, thank you so much. As you have talked about here, we talk about also is having balance. Life is right now, oh my gosh, it seems so serious. As you and I both know, we've been through this our whole lives with everything going on. Only now we have the pandemic that's on top of this talk of war and everything, inflation, the new nation, mandates. We're homeless, the unrest that's going on, and that's why we're here to really get a balance in our lives. And I'm just so glad that you're here, because we want to give all the alternatives, all the tools that you can possibly use. Everything is a tool. Your spirit, all the 10 principles I said earlier, they're all tools about what you want to be an adult about.
Very true.
And so again, we're here to talk about chakras. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask, first of all, for people who this is their first time coming in, um, uh, could you explain a little bit about your background again and how you came with the name Het Heru? I think it's
Ah,
very.
okay. Well, let's see. Before yoga, I was a dancer. And then I thought that was going to be my profession. I changed my mind. And when I was 19, someone introduced this thing called yoga to me, and it just resonated really well. It was like, yes, that's my passion, that's my goal, that's what I'm now focused on. And so my approach to yoga has always been as a dancer, meaning the emphasis placed on rhythm. Rather than listen to music, we're listening to the rhythm of the breath because breath is a really vital part of any practice of yoga. Um, at some point after opening a very successful yoga studio and yoga practice in 1974, in 1977, I began uh, uh, training of yoga teachers. My own yoga teacher, Indra Devi, the first lady of yoga, had moved to Argentina, and she really encouraged me to do this. And so many of my teachers at one point, those who studied with me, not my teachers, but those who studied with me, have been teaching all over the world. So that's been a wonderful thing. In the 90s, I began an interest, rather than in the Indian culture, I became more interested in what is known as the Kemetic yoga. Before the Greeks and Romans changed the name of Egypt, it was originally known as Kemet, which means land of the dark or burnt people. So the original people looked more like me and Michael than Elizabeth Taylor. But they were just
Yeah.
well, and it resonated so well with me. I began to find truth, like you were talking about your the 10 principles that you shared of adult living in the ancient teachings of these ancient people. They had the 7 principles of Ma'at, and Ma'at is the aspect of creation that reflects truth. So these folks live their lives by these 7 principles of truth, righteousness, law, order, balance, harmony, and reciprocity. And they felt that if you lived your life by that, at the end of life, in this however many years we're here, that the heart would be so light that if you weigh it on a scale, you had a feather on one side and this enlightened heart, that they would balance each other out. So these ancient people encouraged us to live our lives according to these 7 principles: truth, righteousness, law, order, balance, harmony, and reciprocity. They also worked with the 42 laws of Ma'at. So they were righteous people. They were very intelligent people, very conscious people, very spiritually aware, and saw what was ahead and wanted to produce tools for us so that we, you know, everybody, I mean, I could attempt to lie to you and that you think, well, everything's going to be fine. Actually, it will be, however, as I've said, and each time I've spoken to you, each, the planet itself is on its way toward becoming sacred. So we're going through a growth, it's like labor pains. So for us to think one day we're going to just automatically wake up and everything's going to be perfect. As many years as I've been on this planet, I've never seen that. We have greater sense of more media coverage, and so we're seeing more of what's happening than, since I've been here. There's been the Vietnam War. There's been I missed World War II, the Korean War. I missed that one, but Desert Storm, and it just, this is just people not people being forced to take back their power. And in the process of in order to do that, one has to learn the truth of who and whose you are. Now, Michael, have you ever heard the story of the twin boys? It's a great story. Little,
No, I'm a
okay.
Gemini. Are you talking about me now?
Well, yeah, probably exactly. I
Go
have
ahead.
shared
Go. Tell
I've
that
shared
wonderful.
this. Well, I've shared it with students for years. Every time
Okay,
I've done in public speaking, because it just to me answers a lot. Two
please.
twin boys, totally different personalities. The mother's concerned, so she takes the boys to a psychiatrist. And so in one room, one child is very optimistic The other child is very pessimistic. The mother doesn't understand why they're like that. So the doctor, the psychologist comes up, or psychiatrist rather, comes up with this idea. The really pessimistic child is put in a room where all these wonderful toys are. Anything that this child could imagine having, he's in a room filled with this. The other child, the really optimistic child, is put in a room where there's a bunch of horse manure. The doctor leaves them alone. He comes back, first checking in on the pessimistic child with all these toys. And the little boy's just sitting there, he hasn't touched anything. And the doctor says, son, I mean, aren't these wonderful? I mean, isn't this something you would like to play with? He says, well, I thought about it, but I thought, if I start playing with them, I'll probably end up breaking something. And then, everybody's going to be mad at me. So I just thought I'd leave it alone. So they go to the room where the optimistic child is in this room full of horse manure, and he's in the middle of it, just having a ball. He's throwing the stuff all up on the walls and just in it, just having a great time. And the doctor says, son, you know what this is? He says, yeah, I know what it is. He says, but I figure with there's this much horse manure, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. Okay. Did you get it, Michael?
I got it.
You
And
got it.
yes, and it's the old expression: if you can't get out of it, get into it.
There you go. There
Right?
you go. And this much, what seems like horse manure to us, there's got to be a pony in there somewhere. Okay.
Yes.
So I truly believe in the lessons that have been given to me is that however long I'm going to be on planet Earth, it's a big school. It's just a big old school. And sometimes it's more fun than other times. Sometimes the lessons are more difficult than the other lessons, but it behooves us to learn what we need to learn so we can graduate. They say the only thing we take with us when we do finish this time is our consciousness. So the more we work at enlightenment, development, and most importantly, love. It's all about love. uh, the more that's what we take with us when we do make our transition. And we also believe in reincarnation, so there's no need to come back and do the same stuff all over again. We can transcend those experiences, and if we do come back, because there is the belief that sometimes people have completed it so much they don't need to come back. Life is, always has been, always shall be. So there, I truly do not believe in death. I've said that before. I believe in transition.
The This is interesting because I know we're going to be talking about breath, and you're going to be doing a little lesson here on breath. And I wanted to add just one thing. When you pass,
Mhm.
okay, you have your consciousness.
Right.
What you always have also is your breath. You will
That's right.
know you are
That's right.
alive by
Yeah.
your consciousness
Right.
and your breath.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to add
Well,
that.
and,
Go ahead.
and
Go ahead.
don't they call that the death rattle because it's the last breath that we take as we move on into the next expression of life. And Ari Ankh-Ka, which the ancient Kemetic folks, the ancient Egyptians, Kemetic, because that's really the correct term for them, is that they called it Ari Ankh-Ka. Breath is the life of the soul. So the more we can work with our breathing in a positive way, the more our lives are enhanced.
I want to add something here, a quick little story. I used to be a hospice nurse, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yes. Um, Now I know people, again, if you're here, you've got a spirit. All right. We see here what we're assuming, we're
Mhm.
right here, who we're talking to, or who's going to see this show, that
Okay.
you have a spirit. Now,
Okay.
somebody said, "Well, I don't know if I do or not." Okay, and it's hard to say. We're going to keep convincing you if we have to. All right, but I want to give you some things that happened to me that would tell me that I'm going to share with you. Now, I've held the hands of many people when they've taken their last breath. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when the person, this has happened to me a number of times. When a person passes, when they literally take that last breath, I've had at least 4 times where I felt their spirit just go right through me.
It's interesting.
Yes. Now, the first time it happened, scared the bejesus out of
I
me.
would
I'm
think
not
so.
kidding.
I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I began to kind of like expect it. There's times when it didn't happen, there's times that it did. Okay. And so, really, that told me, myself, not to say I'm some perfect person, but I really felt that they were kind of going through me to
Right.
just let them know thank you for holding my hand.
Hmm.
Okay. It's a quite, I don't mean to get off the subject, but I'm just, I'm always trying to figure out a way to just convince someone from my perspective on why I know, besides being told by Sophia, but
Mhm.
just in the physical form, because we're in both forms.
Yeah.
Okay. And I completely agree with Heru. You leave with your consciousness and your breath, baby. So if you haven't worked through some things, see, it's not over. See, this is the
No.
whole thing.
Yeah,
You're
it's not
not
over.
gonna, yeah, you're not gonna
Mm,
cross over, man, and like you're gonna be Mr. Perfect. You're gonna cross
mm,
over
mhm.
just how you are, and the things that you keep working. You
Right.
keep you keep you keep getting better. And so anyway, I didn't want to veer off on that, but I just felt that was the time to say that. So let's go into the breath here, because
Okay.
everyone says they can breathe. All right,
Mhm.
and we talked last time. We said, could you give us a little bit of something, something,
Love to. Sure.
okay? So
Love to.
I'm out and you're in.
All right. Well, understand that we do different breathing for different things. Dancers use, as I mentioned last week, I've worked with some of the members from the Bolshoi Ballet Company many years ago, and they explain, and I've seen them dance. It was an incredible experience. But when they're taking these great leaps, they have to gather as much breath as they possibly can. A yogic breath does not work for them at that particular time. Swimmers are not using yogic breathing. However, when you're doing yoga postures, if you are a student of yoga postures, you must incorporate the breathing, the proper yogic breathing, or else you're not really doing yoga. Also, you can use the deep breathing when you're walking. Now, Michael was talking about the difficult times. Yeah, it's stressful right now. Um, my suggestion is don't stay in front of the TV all day long. That's not going to do anything but make you crazy. Pull some of your time back. I can understand you wanting to have a sense of what's happening. I can respect that, but don't feed that into you all the time. Take a walk and do yogic breathing. We've been given an instrument for breathing. It's this thing here. It comes in all sizes and all shapes. And within it are hairs that will filter the air. So that's why we say it's better to use your nose for breathing instead of the mouth. In the back of the throat is the pharyngeal area. You hear it when people are snoring. That's the pharyngeal area, the pharynx. A yogic breath is brought from the back of the throat and the air is coming in through the nostrils. In other words, you're not going to open your mouth at all. You're going to keep the lips together. When you're taking a deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. Indra Devi, First Lady of Yoga, master teacher, incredible woman, spoke at least 13 languages. I was so blessed. Had a wonderful technique that she shared to help people come into contact with this pharyngeal area. It was a simple thing to do. You will just do what I'm doing. You take a breath and you exhale out like this. And that's the back of the throat. That's where the pharynx is, the pharyngeal area. So it's, I'm going to have you do that. We'll do it 4 or 5 times, and then you'll close your lips and do the same thing. So you ready? Okay, take a breath. Now from the back of the throat, close the lips. It's still back here. Okay. Like I said, it's very similar to swimming. I don't mean swimming, snoring. Um, the reason swimming came to mind is, when you're swimming and you make the mistake of getting water into your nose there, you'll immediately feel it back here. So that's the place where we're breathing. I'm going to have you do it one more time. So take a breath, open the mouth, and close the lips. Exhale. All right. One last time. This time you're going to exhale and then you're going to inhale and then exhale again. So open the mouth, take a breath, open the mouth, and lips together. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, there's something you can practice, and you'll find you don't want to do it. If you start getting lightheaded, then stop. Your brain is getting more oxygen than it's used to getting, and so just you have to pass out. That's not a necessary thing to do. The next part are the lungs. They're pear-shaped. When you inhale a yogic breath, you want the bottom of your lungs to begin expanding, the middle of the lungs, and then the top of the lungs. Pause for one pulse beat. As you exhale, empty from the top, then the middle, and then the bottom. All right, I'm going to do this with you. You'll still do the panting, okay? You'll take a breath, pant, pant, close the lips, slide it down, inhale. But when you inhale, think first that you're expanding like a balloon. Bottom, middle, top, pause, exhale, top, middle, bottom. Ready? Okay. Take a breath and begin. Lips together. Inhale, feeling the bottom, middle, top, pause. Exhale, empty top, middle, bottom, pause. Let's do it one more. Inhale, feeling the bottom, middle, top, pause. Exhale, emptying the top, middle, bottom. Okay. All right, one more step. We're going to add a rhythm because rhythm, 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 rhythm. All right, for balance. The more connected we are to the rhythm of the universe, the more connected we are. All right, so you'll find, especially during stressful times, any stressful situation, the yogic breathing will help you so much. Just walk away if necessary from someplace and just do this yogic breathing. But this time you're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, emptying. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Okay, dokie. Okay, here we go. Begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. I'm going to do it with you. Begin. Inhale. Pause. One more time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale. And pause. Okay, so now what happens, like I said, take a walk sometime in the day. It's one of the best things you can do. I remember when running was becoming popular when I had my studio, and I would suggest to my students that might not be the best things to do, running rather, for your knees, especially if you're out there running on concrete, for your knees or your back. And eventually they understood. But walking is a great thing. And so just do deep breathing, inhaling, 2, 3, 4. You can go up to 6 and hold 3 and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Okay. But work up to that. Work up to that. And that's your deep breathing. And you'll find, like I said, it is a natural tranquilizer. Those of you who are having difficulty calming the mind, first of all, don't let the news or anything that excites you, watching the TV or reading or whatever, be what you're doing right before you go to sleep. That's not going to calm the mind. You can do some deep breathing or put on something that is just nonsensical, whatever, and but something that just helps to calm.
Hey, you guys, you keep doing this. and it could make you feel better. You could get bigger. You can be, you may not be as big as me, but you still will be bigger.
Yeah, bigger is true. That's not
Thank you.
you.
No, that's not
Oh,
me.
thank God.
It looks like me though, don't it?
It does. Yeah.
It looks like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. It does look like you. Kind of, sort of. It does. Yeah.
Yes, that's some trickery I do there, by the way. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah, you're very clever.
reface and
Yeah.
all that good old stuff here. I did that. I want you to know. So I want to give everyone what I did because I was doing it, by the way. And what 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 I felt was, which again, I want to say, I literally have to confess, I don't know how to breathe.
Oh.
I got to say this because I work out,
Mhm.
and I'm always. I, Yesterday when I worked out, I was really taking more deeper breaths. Because the workout was so hard, like yoga is and Pilates. By the way, Pilates it's one of the hardest classes because of the way they teach you the breath.
Mhm.
That's in
Okay.
itself hard,
Mhm.
So I felt the bottom of my lung for the first time. I could literally, I was thinking, I could feel it from the bottom to the middle to the
Mhm.
top
Mhm.
to holding and releasing. So I don't know if anybody else got out of this, but I'm gonna tell you something. I got something out of this, and I'm gonna use
Yeah.
it when we get
And your
finished here.
lungs are going to thank you for that because, they get, I don't want to say atrophied, but we really have to expand the lungs.
That's a great point. So, uh, are you saying that we haven't, if we don't know how to breathe properly, then we're not using all our lungs?
No, definitely. And also, the brain needs 3 times more oxygen than any other part of the body. So we're starving the brain. We're also, the cells in the body need oxygen. So this enhances the oxygen through the body and through the brain.
Well, I can say that.
And with that, you can understand why yoga is such a phenomenal practice. Um, I, you know what? I also want people to understand. Most people, they say, "Well, I do yoga." They're talking about the yoga postures. So that's what I'm talking about now, is doing with the yoga postures. But yoga itself is a lifestyle. It is something, from the way you begin your day, you feel your day, and you end your day. It isn't just getting on the floor and stretching for a couple of hours. It's your attitude, it's your approach to life. I was thinking last week about, this. I mentioned there were several definitions to the word yoga. The one that's most popular is union. My teacher taught, though, the one that's most accurate is yoke. It's you being in the driver's seat of your life, more or less. You're the one, you're guiding your life. You're not just letting the world guide you. The world, the world is the world, and the world is going to keep you fearful and confused and downtrodden and all those things if you let it. And it's up to you to take back your power.
For those who just come to our audience, we're here with Het Heru, and we've been doing learning how to do some breathing, and we're going to be talking about the chakra, the third chakra here shortly. So we want to welcome all the new people that just came in. Um, I was I want to go into the chakra thing that we were talking about. Again, we're talking about. I love the seven principles that you gave, by the way. You see how it
Mhm.
can be, reformed and everything, but they're all similar when you look at,
Just
when you
like
see,
truth is truth.
right,
Yes.
truth is truth, you
Yeah.
see. And
Mhm.
so there's just different ways of getting there, but again,
Mhm.
if both work,
Yeah.
do one or the other. Do what you
Yeah.
got to do, baby.
There
Okay?
you go.
Take the
There
best
you
and
go.
leave the rest.
Yeah.
That's the way the world runs.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to be going into chakras,
Yeah.
and then on the third
Talking
chakra.
about the third one.
Yes.
Mhm.
So again, so how the question is how when we started this series with Het
Mhm.
Heru. By the way, make sure you go on the channel. The other two parts are there. See, this is all about a piece, just like she said, the seven principles, just like I said, the 12, principles. It's 10, this is all about, forming this part for yourself. Now, again, if you have, we do have a Het Heru here before we get in this, and you can get a hold of her at info@hetheru.com. And then also, we'll be talking about her essential oils. We just love it. We this is such a big part, but we don't get to this as much. But again, welcome for you all coming in. So you want to get a hold of Het Heru, this is the way to get a hold of her. Okay, there you go.
They
All
can
right, so
sign my email list as well. When they go to my website, they can
uh-huh.
sign my email list as well. And each month I put out a newsletter.
Okay, excellent. We'll all and be reminding you when the time comes in, and also, the links will probably be on. You send it through email, right?
I
Yeah.
did.
Okay. Yeah. So the links
Mhm,
to all her shows
mhm,
will,
mhm.
can be on the on her news show too. Okay. So third chakra. All right,
Okay.
and this is the. We're gonna go. Let me get this up here real quick. So we are in the
Mhm.
middle of the seven chakras. Okay,
Right.
and if you want to just give a quick
Okay.
brief on the
That,
first, second, and third, go ahead.
well, you want
Oh,
me?
oh,
Okay. You want me to
yeah,
go
just
back a
in the
little bit?
past, we went just
Okay.
briefly on
So
the
these
first
are
and second.
these are four vortexes of energy. This is the way the spirit speaks, comes through, and connects with the material world in which we live. And so the base chakra, chakra holds the
Chakra.
power, the power known as the kundalini or the serpent energy. And during a period in life of our an era, it was known as the Piscean age, and the emphasis was placed on opening those chakras. We are now in the Aquarian age, and as I share each week, I truly believe you folks wouldn't be here listening to this information if your chakras were not already open. My work is about, as an Aquarian age Kemetic yoga teacher, is about balancing those chakras. And so the first chakra is the base chakra, holding the spiritual energy. This is where, as we evolve spiritually, it releases what's known as the kundalini or spiritual source. And the idea is that it moves up the spine and spins the wheels, or these chakras, is what the word chakra means, wheel it, and it at that time opened, as I said, opened that chakra. But now the emphasis again is on balancing. So we're balancing the first chakra. The second chakra is the chakra of creativity, the navel chakra. The Sanskrit names, also, I don't use them as much because I'm a Kemetic yoga teacher. However, I did learn this information. So today with Kepra, let's see, did I have it listed on here? No, not on those. But Manipura is the chakra that we're working with now at the solar plexus. And that's to me, how apropos that we're working with that one today when, as Michael said at the beginning of all this stuff that's going on right now. This is where we transmit and receive energy. My friends, bless their heart, most of them don't know that they are empaths. They don't know. And all of a sudden, let's say we're sitting someplace where we're all dancing, and someone, oh my God, my stomach is bothering me because they've been drawing in that energy from as someone else's energy. And I'm trying to teach them how to protect themselves from that. Any of us that interact with people in general, because, some days are better than other days. Some people are really going through it. And we must learn how to protect that solar plexus. You'll see, folks, I remember when I would do my last name in the Kemetic teachings means is Ma'at Keru, which means truth and victorious of voice, because at the time the names were given to me, I was doing a lot of public speaking. But I would watch my audience, and if anyone folded their arms across the solar plexus, that was a message to me that they weren't catching what I was saying, or they were uncomfortable with what I was saying. And so I would then attempt to explain better the information that I was giving. We want to protect that when we're around energy that doesn't feel right to us. And just by nature, we'll fold our arms. I knew a gentleman in LA who was a very successful lawyer. It was as though every case that he tried, he won. This many years ago. And he said one of the reasons he was able to do this was he would watch the body language of the people that he was working with. And that was one of the messages was when they would fold their arms across the solar plexus, it was like, okay, they're shutting you out here. So the solar plexus um, is the one, again, where we're transmitting, receiving energy. And it is the one that, okay, got to take it a little bit off here. Again, last week I was talking about as above, as so below. For the chakras, if you're operating from the top chakra, is having an effect on the base chakra. If you're operating from the third eye, the creative chakra, second chakra. And right now, we're focusing on the throat chakra, which also has an effect on the solar plexus, because this is the one where you're working with the lower energy. It's rooted in survival, but we want to evolve past survival. So we learn how to speak forth what it is that we want to create in our lives. We speak truth, the the 10 codes of morality, yamas and niyamas in Hatha Yoga, the 7 principles of Ma'at, and the information that the adult principles that Michael was sharing with you earlier. Speak your truth. Speak. I am co-creators with no, I'm feeling, let's do it this way. I'm feeling the calming presence of the creator. Speak that, especially when you're feeling anxious, confused, whatever. Speak forth what it is you want to experience. That's how powerful you are.
Thought, breath, action. But it starts right here.
Mhm.
Okay? You have to you have to think it here before you can speak it there. But
Yeah.
it starts here. You
Right.
are what you think about. Go ahead.
And if you add feeling to it, then you're really empowering the experience, because it's not only, I've learned, not only about what you're thinking, it's about what are you feeling. Okay, if you're feeling less than, less worthy, if you're feeling victim, if you're feeling that things are not going to happen, that the world is going to hell, all these you're feeling it and thinking that it's not just, but the two work together in a very powerful way. So as you begin to think and speak something differently, your life experience will become. I know this from my own personal experience. I was sharing, I went through at least a couple of years of deep depression, but I worked it and I worked it and worked it. And when I realized that I was the one that was creating this depression, and I remember a teacher saying, depression means that there's something within you pressing to come up and come out. And that was what I had to work with. I got hold of every book on metaphysics I could. They had master teachers in LA at that time. I was going to them. I was fighting for my life, to be honest with you, my mental and emotional life. If I continued with what I was doing, I would either die or I'd end up in a hospital or something like that. So I worked hard, and I still today remember the morning that I awakened and I felt good again. Finally felt good again. So it's worth any effort. If it's fear, that's that solar plexus chakra. Instead of focusing on fear, focus on faith. Okay, remember, live by faith and not by sight. Pull yourself away from the things that are putting you in that fearful space and focus on the things that make you feel tranquil. Because that's what Capita is. The oil that was channeled to me, that's what it does. It focuses on peace and tranquility. Okay, because there's memory within you. That's what these special oils do. They connect with the divine in you, the memory of the divine in you. There is a memory within you that remembers what peace feels like and what tranquility feels like.
So beautifully said. I have been using Het Heru's essential oils for at least, I think, 15 years.
A
Um,
long time.
I can honestly say, and again, those of you who don't, I don't want you to think of an essential oil as perfume.
No,
It's not
it's
perfume,
not.
although
No.
it can come across because it smells so good.
Mhm.
And when people notice the smell, which people notice it on me, it it has an effect on them also.
That's true.
And
That's true.
for the most part, it's always a very calming effect.
Mhm.
And so I want to get in here. Let me just show this here because I want to say so. All right. So here are her oils. Okay. Now you need to go to her website, het-heru.com. And so you can look and go intimately a little bit more and just see some of the things that she has to offer, all to, balance you and put you in her sacred oils for the sacred you. Okay.
Have you ever
Um,
been behind someone that was wearing a cologne or a perfume and it was like, oh my God, I can hardly wait. The reason being is that, advertising makes it look like the scent of a perfume is for everybody, or is the same one for everybody, or a cologne for everybody. That's not true. Many perfumes and colognes rest on the top of the body, whereas with essential oils, they connect with your chemistry. And these oils, this isn't a show about selling my oils, okay? This is a show designed to connect you with the truth of you, the powerful you. And this is just one more method. Yoga did it when I was teaching it, and then my guides, my spiritual guides said, "Hey, this is the work we want you to do," because of what I was sharing before, the memory and the effect that the olfactory nerve has with the sense of memory. You're somewhere, you smell cookies baking, it transports you to grandma's kitchen where you felt really a lot of love and peace and whatever. Same thing with these oils. I remember I used to go to Della Reese's church in LA, and she had a co-minister, Dr. Charles Brown. And when he smelled the oils, he says, "Het Heru, you know what you did? You know what you did?" And I said, "Well, I think I do, but what do you think I did?" He said, "You brought these oils from ancient times." I believe that's true. I didn't study aromatherapy, not in this lifetime. I believe I have in past lives. But what I am pretty good at is being a channel. When I first started doing shows, like, in LA, the convention center, whatever, where there are thousands of people who are showing up, the oils at some point would literally just take over the building and people would find me. But it amazed me as of the effect. I'd have people that just start giggling because that was a memory came through. They would start giggling, or start crying. And I kept watching this and watching this, and I said, "Wow, these are truly designed to help people remember again who and whose they really are."
I have to say, I am the one who called Het Heru, and you. I I wanted to talk about her essential oils, and then we started getting into her history and how she came on. Now
Mhm.
I've interviewed Hetero's been I've been privileged. I've interviewed her 3 or 4 times over the years,
Okay.
um, and most of it was on radio. And so
Mhm.
I felt that I was ready. Now I could ask her to come on to my show. And I know that, you might think if anyway, if you think that we are like I'm here to sell you, and I am a salesman, by the way, I'm quite good at it, but this is
Mhm.
not about this.
Yeah.
This is about your spiritual path. And this is how important these oils are. I just I can't say it enough. I'm here to vouch for
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, and I'm just so glad, um, you know, the history. Again, we just got to give a little bit on the history on these essential oils, on how you got them. I mean, because
Okay.
we've gone over it, and people who haven't seen the show, and we also have some other people just came in. We're
Oh,
talking.
good.
Yes.
Well, I was teaching at UC Santa Barbara, and my guides, I'm clairaudient, so my guides speak to me. I hear other folks' thoughts, and I never meddle. I learned not to do that. But my guys said, we want you to concentrate on healing by focusing on the chakra system. And I thought, well, that's interesting because I thought that's the work I've been doing for the last 35 years. And Tracy. And nothing more was said. I didn't say anything to anybody about it. I just thought that was an interesting thing that happened. So a couple of years later, I have left Santa Barbara, moved to Hollywood, and I was asked to put some oils together for someone, a special someone. And I thought, I didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't think. I just said, sure, I'll do it. But I wasn't doing this kind of work. I just said, sure, I'll do it. And my guides spoke to me and they said, we want you to put two oils together, Egyptian musk and majmua. Majmua being an Indian combination of oils and Egyptian musk. So they told me how much of each to put together, which I did. And then I gave it to this person, and we would go out, and folks were just amazed. They were just responding. But I remember this one lady who said, I wasn't feeling well, and you came in, and all of a sudden, immediately, I started feeling better. What is that? So many folks were enjoying the scent that I said, well, maybe I better start putting some in a bottle. But because I was getting responses, really dramatic responses, I said, okay, what's going on? So I got quiet, asked my guides, and they said, this is the work we want you to do. And so they also channeled affirmation as well to go with it. And then they gave me, they gave me all 7 chakra balancing oils. They're all blends, and were all channeled to me, and it came with the affirmations. They gave me 2 more. They're not a part of the chakra work. One is Imani, which is the real favorite now because it is for faith. And the second one is prosperity. See, it's all about consciousness, okay? So, and the law of attraction. The prosperity oil has actually gold particles in it. So the whole thing is to help you shift into an awareness of consciousness of prosperity. And then you apply the oils to your pulse points. You don't lather it on, you apply it to the pulse point, you sniff it, and then you say the affirmation. And that just helps to magnetize you in a way that, first of all, helping you to shift consciousness because it's helping to balance that chakra or that state of consciousness. And then the law of attraction begins to work as well. I saw that Tracy Alpough reached in there. Hi, Tracy. Tracy goes way back like you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. We
thank you, Tracy.
Yes. Yeah, I'm blown away by mine is meter netter. That's
correct.
I said it right, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Meter netter.
Meter netter.
There you go. And that's not really the way it's pronounced because, as I was sharing with you, they didn't have an E in the language. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, for literally, I'll say it, 14 years, I was saying meter neater. Mm-hmm. Hey, what's the name of it? Meter neater. What? Even meter netter is, that's there's Egyptian names, is really hard.
No, it's a whole. And do you know what it means? Do you remember what it means?
Communication, right?
Well, it's for the communication chakra, but the words themselves means the voice of God.
Yes, that's my name. That's what it means.
There you go.
Yes. So I don't want no credit. I'm just here to share share what's been given to me. And thank you so much, Het Heru, for just sharing these great stories. Can you just I want to get off topic a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your travels, because we've never even gotten into where your travels have been.
Well, it's been predominantly here in the States. I have been to Mexico and Hawaii and, the usual places, but I've never felt compelled to, because the world always has seemed to come to me. When I had a yoga studio, it was very world, people came from everywhere. And Indra Devi, bless her heart, when she would go to India and go to the Sai Baba Center there, the temple, the ashram there, she would tell, oh, when you come to LA, you must get in touch with Het Heru. Of course, then they knew me as Cheryl Harriman, but I changed that name many years ago, and I got into the Kemetic teachings. But there's some places I'm going to go to soon, as soon as feel safe, because I worked instead of traveling. I worked, and I didn't feel compelled. I was going to go to India, but then it got a little funky there, so I didn't go. Then I was going to go to Egypt, and then got crazy in Egypt. So I've decided the first place I'm going to go is probably to Panama. And the reason being is that my ex is from Panama, and through him, I got very much involved in the Latin culture, and especially Latin dancing, salsa. I'm a very good salsa dancer, thanks to, oh God, yes, and to the point where folks from Latin America always think I'm either a Cuban or I'm Puerto Rican because of my style of dance and because I was a dancer, see, and I'm a rhythmic dancer. And they're always surprised when I say, no, I'm African American. And they look at me, and then I said, well, I was with a Panamanian and then they immediately, from that point on, to them, I'm Panamanian. So,
Right.
which is
Right.
complimentary. I like the fact. But the thing I want them to remember, and I point out to them, I am an African American. So what connects us throughout the diaspora in dance is the fact of the rhythm came from Africa. So I guess I can pick up those rhythms easily.
Yeah, well, we're born with rhythm. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
it's fascinating. You said what you said at the beginning. It's like, um, I've lived in Mexico and basically Alaska, California, Arizona, mostly in the States.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I agree that most people I've met have come to me in the sense
Yeah.
of wherever I'm at. Now, I was very fortunate. I went to 8 Burning Mans, and I've met people all over the world.
Yeah.
That showed up that was in my my camp. And that's another thing I want to encourage you all again about. Right now, we can't travel, or it's just kind of weird. I mean, I know a lot of people want to travel, and
Mhm.
there's also, people who are elderly that want to travel because they don't have much longer
Right.
here also. So this
Mhm.
has really harmed us with our mental state. And
Mhm.
so, what we just want to do here is just have a platform where we can all come together. There's
Mhm.
no, this is not about judgment. This is not about, do this or what or else.
Mhm.
It's about, hey, these are some suggestions that it could benefit you. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
these, I don't listen. I got to get back to these essential oils. So,
Right.
here you need. We'll talk more about these essential oils. But they're very important. I would say to you, to the audience, that they're a portal.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, maybe it
Mhm.
might be a portal to being calmer.
Mhm.
Maybe it might be a portal that, and I mean it in the sense of you're the portal. You want to open your throat up. You want to speak your truth.
Mhm.
You want to communicate. You want to have peace within. This are tools. There's people I know that if you use one different every day, and I need to try that myself. So, but I'm into
Yeah.
my whole thing has always been about communicating.
Okay.
Yes,
And no wonder you're drawn to Meta.
yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's who I am, really.
Yeah.
To tell you the
Yeah.
truth. So
I use a lot of the sacred love oil. We'll be talking about the fourth chakra next week, but there's the heart chakra oil, and that one went through some interesting um, changes because when I first started, they gave me two separate oils, and one was supposed to be for the male aspect of the heart center, and the other the female aspect. And then the pricing went way up on sandalwood to the point where I would have had to charge a lot of money, which I've never wanted to do. I want everybody to have access to these products. But so I meditated on it, and my guide said, "No, we've got another one for you." And it's a combination of geranium and musk and myrrh and what's the other one? And myrrh, no, nag champa. This oil, joy, the effect that it has on folks, it's always, but it would, with it being the heart chakra. And so because I interact with a lot of people, that's the one I wear probably the most. I want folks to feel that they're coming to me, connecting with me on a heart chakra level.
You're the one faith, Ivani.
Imani,
Imani.
which
Yeah,
Swahili, by the way, it's not
it's say
the
again.
it's Swahili. Imani is a Swahili
Oh, that's
word,
Swahili. Okay, got you.
and I don't speak Swahili.
Okay. So, just to give my comment, I've been, I think the last couple of years since it's come out, I've been actually using that. All right, because of faith.
Yeah.
You know, I've I've needed that myself. It's
Mhm. Yeah.
constantly, standing on faith because you see we live in the visible world. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, so we can see what we can see. Now, some people can see in the spirit, got eyes, but for the
Mhm.
most part, everybody sees what's in front of them. Now, in
Mhm.
the spirit world, they live in in two worlds: the invisible as well
Mhm.
as the visible. So
Yeah.
they can see us, see, but we can't see them.
Yeah.
Now, this is where
But sometimes you can.
yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. Okay,
Okay.
yes, sometimes you can. That
Mhm.
without a doubt.
Mhm.
Okay. So but to understand, I just want you to understand a little bit more. See, they can see us, we can't see them. Sometimes some people
Mhm.
have that gift where they
Mhm.
see them. I can tell you some of mine, but that's another story. Okay.
Right.
So we what we wanted, we're trying to just bring them both all together.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And this is to just open us up, you
Mhm.
know, just I mean, I've changed already. I'm breathing. I'm going to breathe like,
Mhm.
you taught. So I want to
Mhm.
thank you. We're coming at the top of the hour here. And as usual, you've been brilliant and from the heart.
You're a sweetheart.
Okay. And
Well,
we'll be back next Wednesday and we'll be talking about the fourth chakra
mhm.
and
Sacred love.
sacred love. And that's
Mhm.
the heart plexus. Is that what?
It's the heart chakra.
Okay. We're going to talk
Yeah.
about the heart.
And how
We're
to
gonna-
attract sacred, loving relationships.
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you, young people, we know y'all need help now on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mhm.
thank you, Het Heru. I really
My
appreciate
pleasure,
the
Michael.
time.
My
We'll
pleasure.
we're gonna see you. We'll see you again on next Wednesday. Okay.
Okay. Love
Thank you
and
so much.
blessings, everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that was exciting. That was very interesting, and I think you should come back next week where you can. I'm telling you, if you haven't, you need to learn how to breathe better. I've been here for 64 years and I didn't even know how to breathe. How can you believe that, man? You learn something every day, though, right? And that's what's exciting. Okay. The human spirit experiment is about your experience. So, how you experiment with your spirit is what brings you greater experiences. So, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I got another show coming out tomorrow. And please like and subscribe to the channel. I really need you to do that. And whenever you can, that'd be great. And also, I have some other videos. Please subscribe. You can just click on here, this middle thing here. And then I'll also had her other two shows. Okay. So thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.